Hello, Internet! I'm Alex Purple Doofus, and welcome to Buddy Reads, where I read a small selection of a book and review it for you. Today we are beginning our journey with Chapters 1 and Chapters 2 of Part 1 of Sleeping Beauties by Stephen King and Owen King. I hope you've read up to that point yourself, because I do not want to ruin anything for you. Before I dive into the story, I want to introduce myself to the DeFranco Book Club. It's the main reason that I picked up this book. Well, that and a side note, which I will reveal in my spoiler-free review. I'm guessing that many of you, probably all of you, don't know who I am. And that's fine. That's why I'm introducing myself to you. I read books, and I review them as I'm reading them, give you my reactions as I'm reading them, tell you what happened while I'm reading them. I just want to introduce myself to you because a lot of the times when I do these are books that I have not read yet. So please, I realize you're probably far in the future of where I am. Please don't talk beyond the chapters that I'm talking about. I would greatly appreciate it. I do this because I would like to garner a book club of my own. The thing was, I started with the books and not the group. So I haven't really garnered that many people. I am bound to get many things wrong. I am bound to forget things within this section. If that happens, I encourage you to fill me in on all the things that I forgot. Please do that. Just please do not talk about stuff that hasn't happened yet. I am a spoiler phobe. I'll just put it that way. But now that I have gotten that out of the way, I hope that you are all enjoying the audiobook. I can't do audiobooks myself. I need the physical book. If I try and listen to audiobooks, my mind just kind of wanders. That's why I have a physical copy. But now let's dive into the story. It starts off with a list of characters, and to be honest, I skipped the list, because I think it is much better for an author to introduce the characters within their story. And if they can't do a good enough job doing that, then they can't do a good enough job to keep me interested. So I skipped the list of characters. And I went right to the first chapter of the first part, which starts off with Ree and Jeanette, and they are inmates at a women's prison. And you don't know exactly why they're in there, but they're talking first about a square of sunlight that falls from the windowsill to the floor, and then they are talking about a game show and whether or not game shows let inmates be contestants. And then we go on to a man named Clint, who is a psychologist or a psychiatrist, or he works with people's brains. He is at his home office, and Anton the pool boy comes over, and Anton is like this just gorgeous man cleaning people's pools, and all the women are like, oh, it's Anton. Oh! Clint is talking with a man named Paul. Paul is his patient, and Paul is talking about how he cheated on his wife, and he doesn't understand why his wife is mad at him. It's just, Paul, you need some work. Then we have a section where Clint is getting off of work? No. I believe Clint is going to bed, or something like that. He's going to bed. He's trying to be stealthy. He's trying not to wake up his wife, Leela. While he is going to bed, she's like, you don't need to be quiet, I'm awake. And he's like, oh, I am so sorry. And they have the loving conversation of a husband and wife that really care for each other. And that's all that basically sets up. Then we have a woman named Evie, and she is in her trailer in the woods. And Evie's an odd character. I wouldn't exactly call her a crack whore, because one comes up later that is definitely a crack whore. Evie is more the crazy homeless person that you see on the side of the street. And Evie is in her trailer. And this whole section, both chapters, are pretty much setting up the characters. So far you have Renee and Jeanette, you have Clint, Anton, and Lila, and now you have Evie, who is the crazy homeless person who lives in a trailer in the woods. Then you have Clint, and I believe he's eating breakfast, getting ready for work. And he runs into his son, Jared. And they have the whole father-son conversation. Boy, I love you, Dad. Sure do love you too, son. Ha ha. And then they go their separate ways. And then we have Jeanette, the inmate, and she is enjoying her spare time in the commons room, which she earned with good behavior. And Jeanette is talking with the other inmates about a certain inmate named Kitty, who is taken away off to the psych unit because Kitty was having, I guess they're night terrors? She was screaming in the middle of the night about the Black Queen and how everyone was coming for the Black Queen and we're all gonna die because of the Black Queen. And all the other inmates are like, wow, she is batshit crazy. And Jeanette's like, yep. Then we have a story about a woman named Tiffany. And Tiffany used to be a young innocent teenager, and she was about to get thrown into jail. But the scumbag of an officer decided, hey, you know what? If you do sexual favors for me, I won't arrest you. And she says, okay, and does that. And it's just like, ugh, awkward. But this leads her on a path of crime, where she believes she can do anything because all she needs to do to get out of it is sexual favors. And of course, this doesn't end with crime. She begins to take drugs. And she is the aforementioned crack whore that I described to you earlier. Then we have a character who is only known as the Avon Lady. And if you don't know what an Avon Lady is, basically a woman that goes around selling either Tupperware or makeup. She's basically a door-to-door saleswoman. But this Avon Lady is talking to moths, and the moths are talking to her. And it's just a very strange and intriguing character. It's these kind of characters that I love when they pop up in Stephen King books. Then we have a woman named Lenny, and she works at the 911 station at this particular town. And she's sitting there, and all of a sudden, well, she gets an emergency call. And she's assuming because of the time of day, it's like a lost cat in a tree, it's like someone is locked out of their house. It's just something stupid and mundane. And she's listening on the phone, and it's, I believe it was Evie, on the other end of the line, and she's like, holy fuck, holy fuck, holy fuck, my drug guy's dead, my drug guy's dead. The Avon Lady, she came in, she killed him. Oh my god, she came in, she was completely naked, and she killed him. Oh my god, 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 oh my god. And Lenny's like, calm down. She's like, oh my god, you don't understand. Like the tank, it's like right next to the fire, and it's about ready to explode. Calm down, it's not that bad. Oh my god, everything's going to shit. Oh god, oh god. And then boom, the walls rattle. Her office feels the shockwave of an explosion. She hears it over the phone. And she's like, oh my god. So she's like, just calm down. Tell us where you are. I'm in the woods. We don't have an address. Just follow the smoke. And Lenny's like, oh, okay. Lenny calls the fire department. She calls up all the other people. And she decides to call up Lila. Because Lila is the sheriff of this town. She calls up Lila, and Lila is lying in her bed, barely out of her uniform. And she feels a little tickle on her face. And she just kind of waves it away. But then she hears a phone, and she's like, okay, fine, I'll wake up. And she picks up the phone, and it's Lenny, and Lenny fills her in. She's like, okay, fine. And she gets the rest of the uniform back on. She's like, I'm on my way. I just want to sleep, but I'm on my way. And she goes out to the incident. As she is going out to her car, she runs into Anton in her driveway. And Anton hits on her. Anton calls her the morning glory. And she's like, oh, please, I'm like twice your age. Just shut up and clean the pools. And Anton's like, whatever you say, morning glory. She's like, right. Lila gets in her car and she goes off into the woods. Then we have a guy named Frank, and he has a cat with him. And he is in traffic. And he's waiting. And we have a woman that is crossing the street, and she's a crazy woman who has an invisible family, and she's crossing the street in front of Frank. And he's like, oh, that's the crazy woman of town. And we follow her across the football field as she's like talking to her invisible family. We have Terry, Roger, and Lenny, and they show up at the explosion site. And they're looking over everything. And they're like, holy fuck, what happened here? They're looking over everything. They're seeing blood. They're seeing like heads poking out of walls. They see Tiffany. She's the woman that called in the 911 call, and she's coming running out, and she's like, oh my god, it's so horrible, it's so horrible. I believe it was Terry that thought that she did it initially, but then it was like, whoa, wait, look at everything. There's no way that she could possibly have done this. And they go in, and it's just torn to shreds inside of her trailer. And she's trying to explain that it was just one woman, the Avon Lady. She was completely naked. And she did all this. And the guy's like, there's no way that one woman did this. This is insane. Look at all this carnage. Then we have Lila. She's showing up to the site later than everyone else. And she runs into the naked Avon Lady. Only she is wearing a flannel shirt of, I believe it was Thomas, the drug dealer. The guy with a head through the wall. She's wearing his shirt and just nothing else underneath. And Lila sees her and she's like, now that is what you call a morning glory. Because this Avon Lady is spectacularly built. The Avon Lady gives her a cryptic message. I am going to look it up because I can't remember it specifically. Lila sees her walking away from the site completely naked, and Lila has pulled her weapon on her, and she's very scared. And she says to the Avon Lady, do you have any idea how close you came to being killed? And the Avon Lady's like, not very. You had it all the way. And it's just like, okay, that's odd. We have Frank, who is stuck in traffic, and he gets to the vet's office, and he has his cat, and it's a very sad scene as Frank has to have his cat put down. And it's just like, oh, poor kitty. And then we have Clint. And what I forgot to mention was when he was talking with Paul about cheating on his wife, he was daydreaming about going back to work for a prison and going back to work in a prison environment. So he is meeting with Warden Coates, who is the head warden of the lady prison. And they're talking about Kitty, who had the dream and the screaming and everything like that. And Clint is like, it could be this, it could be that. We shall just see. And then we have a woman named Magda. And she is sitting down and she is watching the news because one of her favorite people are the on-site reporters. And she is doing an on-site report about this fainting disease that has come over from Australia and has affected only women so far. She's talking with a doctor and the doctor is like, okay, yeah, I'm not really allowed to talk to you. And the reporter says, yes, but we hear that there are growths. And the doctor's like, I'm really not supposed to talk to you, but you know those growths are really disgusting. They're really gross. They look like cotton balls, like rolling out of the people's face. It's disgusting! And that's pretty much where the section ends. I kind of already know where the growths and the sleeping stuff is coming from because I read the description of what the book was about before I picked it up. That's what made me pick it up in the first place because it sounded awesome, but I won't tell you what that is. So far, like any great beginning to a book, this is all set up. And it's just snippets of characters here and there, and there's no real cohesion yet, but I can see it forming in spots here and there, and that's really interesting to me. But I've been down this road before with Stephen King books, where it like starts out spectacularly and then just goes downhill from there. So I hope that it continues to hold my interest. One thing that I forgot to tell you to Frinka Book Club was I just finished reading the entire Dark Tower series for my channel before the movie came out. And, well, I was severely disappointed. I was not expecting to pick up a Stephen King book so soon after I finished that series. I hope that Owen King can reel him in, and I just really hope that we can have some differences in writing with Owen King helping him. I don't know if it's Stephen helping Owen or Owen helping Stephen, but I really hope that Owen brings another magical spark to this story. That would be fantastic. If you like what I'm doing, go ahead and click the subscribe button. If you like this video specifically, go ahead and click the like button. And go ahead and leave a comment letting me know who your favorite character is so far. Right now, I'm leaning towards Lila, because I like badass women. I've been Alec the Purple Air Doofus. This has been Buddy Reads, reminding you to watch a Pajama Radius, and I will see you all in the next section of Sleeping Beauties by Stephen King and Owen King. Toodles!